I am Melissa Hurt, and I am the owner of Integrative Studio, and I'm based in Del Mar, New York. And I offer mindful movement and meditation and self-care, vocal life, communication, coaching for all kinds of people. And so Lauren and I have been in connection with each other for a while, and I did a meditation for her group maybe a month ago. Time is surreal, right? Who knows what a month ago was, but it was maybe around that time ago. And since we're still here in quarantine and we're still kind of going through this event, it's a good time to touch base again through a meditation. So my approach to meditation is that it does not have to be perfect. I don't even know what that means. Meditation is about tuning in whenever you're able and lingering there for as long as you're able. That's really the whole point, because when you're able to go inward, you can discover patterns, habits, knots, things that are holding you back from feeling well. Now, it doesn't mean that you automatically unravel those knots, because that would be a miracle. I mean, it takes a while to really undo those knots, and that's what a daily practice leads you towards. But it's recognizing the knot, recognizing the pattern, the chatter, whatever the thing is that's holding you back, and then sitting in that space. And when you sit in that space, you begin to find its peculiarities, its subtleties, its trickery, right? And you're observing it. And you're observing it through an awareness of your breath, so that you can find a way to release it through a different thought pattern, a different behavior, a journal prompt that might really release you from a debilitating habit, so you can move forward in a healthy, optimal way. So here we are on day whatever of the quarantine. It's a new day, meaning you have a new possibility for knowing yourself today. So join me. I am sitting on a comfortable cushion. You can sit on the floor if you're comfortable with that. You can have your legs out long. You don't have to have them crossed. You can sit in a chair. I just ask that you're not lying down, because if you're lying down, you might get so comfy cozy that you fall asleep. And meditation is really about finding a quiet alertness inside of yourself. So find a tall spine, but grounded through your seat. And let's just begin by moving our shoulders, our ribs. Find some gentle, easy movement so you can begin to release any tensions, muscular tensions in your waist, in your trunk. Let's go ahead and reach the arms up. Take a big breath in and just find some movement. Maybe you haven't done this for a while today. Open it out, open the chest, look up, and maybe even massage your throat, the sides of the neck. It's important to kind of feel where your body is physically before checking in with it energetically. So find a way to release. Also, what we're doing with these movements of the shoulders, the chest, the back, the ribs, is we're releasing the muscles around our lungs so that we can breathe more readily. And we need to find our breath. All right. So go ahead and start to cozy in. I invite you to close your eyes, or you can just keep a soft gaze past the tip of your nose. All you need to do is listen to my voice. You don't have to be able to see me. And please know that the only tool you need for meditation, it's twofold. It's your awareness and your breath. Keep your awareness on your breath and be curious about it, so you can be curious about yourself. This is self-study, so you can enhance your spirit. So with your eyes closed, begin to feel your breath moving in and out. And just feel it on a larger scale. How do you feel your breath moving? Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? Just observe its quality without fixing it, without making a story about it. Just observe it. And then let's bring our awareness to where our breath is moving. Begin by feeling your breath moving in through your nose. Find this upliftedness in through the sinus cavity. And can you feel the coolness of your breath as it comes in, and the warmth of your breath as it leaves your nose? Let's stay there for about a minute or so. Feel that as you're noticing the coolness of your breath coming in, the warmth of your breath going out, that you can soften your face, soften your throat, let your shoulders rest down. And now, keeping this awareness of your breath moving in through your nose, out through your nose, can you also feel where it's moving in your chest, your belly, your back? Where do you feel it going? Can you feel how your breath is moving your body, that there's an expansion outward as you breathe in, and the slight contraction release towards the midline of your body as you breathe out? Finding this opening on the inhalation and this subtle release back to home on the exhalation. So keeping our awareness there. And you can even add the words as you inhale, opening, and as you exhale, home. Opening, coming home. Perhaps if you're feeling the uplift of the breath through the sinus cavity and this movement downward into the chest, the belly, the back, that perhaps you can even feel a sense of groundedness through your seat. Especially as you exhale, there's a sense of settling down. There's a sense of settling in. And that finding the lift of your spine up is a lengthening of the spine, lengthening through the crown of your head. With that exhale, grounding you down so that you can begin to feel the length of your spine. Feel the expanse that is you, up and down, and then expanding outward and contracting inward on your breath, so that your awareness takes you to the periphery of you from deep within. And you're feeling your periphery somewhat on a physical level, but really more on an energetic level. In the world of yoga, your breath is called your prana. But prana means energy. It's a flow. Your breath is the life force energy of you. And you're feeling this more subtle layer of yourself called pranamaya kosha, which is your energetic body. Feeling your breath. Perhaps you can even find in that stillness the movement of your blood or your heartbeat. And I invite you to settle in there. Can you feel this rhythm inside of you that you're nurturing through your breath? through this loving kindness, awareness of yourself. And let's bring our awareness to the heart more specifically. You feel your heartbeat from within, or just know that that sweet thing is working for you. This muscle that never stops, filled with electricity, filled with a vibrancy that keeps you going. So take a moment as you sit and breathe with your heart to shine light and gratitude for your heart. Your heart works with your lungs. It's the cardiopulmonary system. So noticing that with your breath, the slowness of your breath will match a slowness to your heartbeat. And that works in the other way, that if you breathe too quick, your heartbeat will go up. We want to slow down our breath, slow down our heart rate so that our mind can slow down. Quiet the chatter and just observe the space within. And now let's bring our awareness from the heart as an organ to our energetic heart, our emotional heart. How are you feeling? How's your heart feeling? And just sit in that space, honoring it, whatever it is, that it's okay. It's where you are today, right now. Noticing if there are sensations that come with that feeling. Maybe you feel something happening in your shoulders, your belly, your face, your throat. Can you honor that feeling in your heart, but soften your body's response to it, so that you're just receptive, but you're also giving. And now let's move from our awareness of the heart to your left palm. See if you can place your hand so your palm is up. You can rest the back of your hand on your leg, in your lap somewhere, and just feel the openness of your left palm. Can you find a spaciousness there? Maybe wiggle your fingers just a little bit, if that helps you get comfortable there, but feel the openness, the space, the presence of your palm. And then let that spaciousness move up your wrist, up your arm, all the way up your left arm, so that openness comes back to your heart. And then let your awareness from there go to your right palm, the center of your right palm. Again, if you need to wiggle fingers, just to kind of get to know what's happening in your right palm, go ahead. And then feel the space in your palm, opening and releasing, and find that spacious energy moving up your wrist, up your arm, up your shoulder, connecting back to that beautiful heart, so that you feel your heart open and connected to your hands. Now let's place one hand on the heart as an act of preserving and receiving goodness, love, gratitude. Just feel what you can hold in your heart. And then I invite you to extend the right hand out with the palm up for giving. knowing that it's a balance between what we give and what we restore for ourselves. And maybe you can observe what comes up in your body and mind for what you have to give. Sometimes we're giving so much we just don't have anything left. And if that's the case, then place both hands on your heart and know that it's okay to restore yourself. Give back to yourself. And when you feel ready, you can release your hand back out and be giving more, knowing that what you give, you get. Because the heart is porous, it's receptive, and everything is really just energy moving. So we'll sit here for about a minute, feeling what we call a mudra. This is a gesture. One hand on the heart, one hand extended out, or maybe you have both hands on your heart if that's appropriate for you. Just feel the energy and the power of that mudra. Can you still feel the groundedness through your seat, this uplift through the crown of your head? Perhaps feeling a spaciousness, this expanse within you. Maybe the boundaries of your body are disappearing, and that means that you're going deeper in towards your innermost self, where the body doesn't matter, it's your spirit. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches Arjuna that we are all body wearers. We're just wearing a body, and our spirit is what's important. So what do we do to take care of our spirit? We can restore our heart and give to others. That's one thing we can do. So now let's place both hands on the heart. Bow your head just a little bit to yourself, and then slowly release your hands down. Keep your eyes closed. If you would like to preserve what you've gained from that mudra, you can place your palms down on your lap as an act of sealing it in. And let's sit here for another minute. If you like, you can keep your palms up if you'd like to keep receiving more energy around you. And just breathe, feeling that expanse outward, that coming home inward with your breath. Knowing that the longer you can sit with patience, with curiosity, the more you might find. But also know it's okay if you've only got a couple minutes to sit before you need to find movement. It's okay. This is a discipline, it's a practice that enhances on itself every time you come to it. And if you only have 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes before bed, then that's 4 minutes of knowing yourself that you didn't have the day before. So be kind to yourself. So now I'm going to chime my singing bowl, and you'll hear it chime 3 times. And when you hear the third chime, just keep your eyes closed and follow my cues from there. Begin to deepen your breath awareness. Take maybe a larger breath in, like you're smelling something that you love. Sigh it out through your mouth. And then bring your hands together at your heart and just give thanks to yourself. Give thanks to yourself for taking care of yourself just now. Knowing that the more you take care of yourself, the more you can take care of your family, of your work, of your community. But you have to take care of yourself. And then let's gently open the eyes, and we'll do a little bit of an easing out of the seated position. So just start to sway your spine from side to side. You can gently lean back and uncross your legs and stretch them out, easy peasy, nice and long. And just bend your knees alternatively, just to open and sway the hips, the ribs. Come to a comfortable seat. Roll your shoulders back. And now you're back in your space, in your day, but a little different. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. That was great.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to give people a couple of minutes to sort of hang
Come back.
Yeah, exactly. And if anybody has any questions, Melissa has said she's more than happy to take them. In terms of the Facebook Live, I've got it pulled up, and I don't see any questions yet, but I had a couple.
Okay.
So I've been trying to start a meditation practice on my own, like, off and on. And I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
The thing that I run into as a problem quite frequently is my mind. It's like, everybody's like, oh, it's like, the absence of thought, or like turn your mind off. How do you?
Yeah. Here's the thing though. It's actually not the absence of thought. It's the patience with your thoughts. And it's finding a steadiness with your awareness of thought, right? And so it's kind of a bigger concept. So it's impossible to clear your head of thought, because if you'd be unconscious, literally, right?
Right.
So instead, you notice the hamster wheel going. Everyone's got one. And you just first say, okay, I've got a hamster wheel. I'm going to be kind about that. But now I'm just going to focus on my breath. And then what happens the more you just tend to your breath, if you're only thinking of your breath, you can't think of other stuff, right? Sometimes sometimes you're thinking of your breath and you're thinking, oh, I have to get cereal at the store later, right? Like something like that might happen.
Which is just happening to me today.
Yeah, and you just kind of observe that like it's a cloud passing in the sky, right? You don't say, oh yeah, I do need to get cereal today. You don't chase the thought. You just say, okay, I'll get to you later. And then you come back to your breath.
Okay.
So this is a weird analogy, but you might get it because you're the mother of a small child. It's like when you're in the middle of doing something that you need to do and you're focused and you're just doing it and you're distracted by, you just say, okay, I'm going to get to you in 1 second. And then you get back to it. You don't go, you don't scream at the kid. You say, it's just going to be 1 minute. You do that same thing to yourself, right? So when your mind is going and you have that other thought that comes in, it's not saying, oh, I suck, I can't meditate. It's saying, I see you, thought. I'm going to get back to this, but I'll get to you when I'm done. And it's just the patience, right? And then over time, your mind learns that that's not the time to give you the shopping list, right? It starts to learn, just as a child starts to learn, oh, when mommy's doing this, it's not the right time to ask about X, Y, and Z. Like, for example, my daughter is now 7.5. I've been doing yoga with her and in front of her since she was a baby. So now she knows when I'm doing yoga, that's mom's time. She might ask me a quick question, but she also knows to not come onto my body to stop my practice, because she knows she knows what I'm doing. And so the mind is the same way. The more you tend to your practice, the more it tends back to you. And what you end up finding is that in your daily life, when you can find a mindfulness for a task that you're doing, it's not as easy to get derailed by something else because you're able to harness and strengthen your capacity to focus.
Oh. Because I will be honest with you, I have tried like off and on, like meditation, guided meditation, headspace, like all of these things.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, I'm failing at this because
No,
I couldn't, my
no.
mind just doesn't stop.
You're
Right?
not failing at it at all. You're human and you're acknowledging your human imperfection, which everybody has, even the Dalai Lama, everybody has it. And so you're just honoring, I'm busy, right? And you could turn that into a journaling prompt right there. You can write it out, say, I am thankful that I'm busy because I'm productive. People need me. I'm valuable. You could do all of that, like put it on a positive spin for I am so thankful that I'm busy because I've got all these things in my life. Get that out of you and then come back to it, right? And say, okay, you're in a good space. Now you're going to focus on your breath,
I
right?
love that idea.
Yeah.
I
I do
love
a
that.
lot of journaling with my meditation because
Okay.
it's really a 2-for-1 thing for me where I'll meditate and after a while something will come up and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to write it out. And I'm very patient. I'm like, okay, coming back in, and then just kind of go back and forth.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, try it.
That's such a great idea because like sometimes my mind is just going, 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 and I can't get it to stop, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, fine, I've just failed again at it, and then I go away.
Yeah.
What you're saying is, no, take a moment, honor the thoughts, and just get them out.
Just honor it. You honor it because you're just coming into yourself. Meditation is self-study. Yoga practices, going on a jog is self-study if you want it to be. Everything is an opportunity to come into yourself and say, how am I going? How you doing, you? You know? And then you might notice that you've got a lot of like angst or that I call it the hamster wheel or whatever it is. And you say, oh, there's a lot of that today, you might want to start with journaling first and then a seated practice. You could also journal first and then take like an easy walk in your yard to and fro and make it a walking meditation. And then over time, find what a sitting meditation feels like, because when you're doing a walking meditation, you're focusing on how your feet are making contact with the floor, with the earth, one step at a time. And that becomes a model for your life. Like everything in my life is one step at a time. I can't transverse my yard and go to the other side like that. There's a process, right? Everything is. So it really, all these self-study practices are really models for getting to know how your mind works, how your spirit lives in you, and how you can get out of your own way to be a brighter self. But that brighter self contains all the thoughts. Those thoughts are fine. It's just finding a space to inhabit them and be kind about them.
I love that perspective. I really love that. And I thank you so much for sharing that with me.
My pleasure.
And also mentioning walking meditation, whatever it was you just mentioned.
Walking meditation, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Do it. It's a Buddhist practice. You could Google it. A lot of monks do it. Walking meditation. And that's like, sometimes you'll go, like Kripalu has one, you'll see the labyrinth. Some churches have them in their outdoor space. That's the purpose of that, is for a spiritual, mindful walking meditation. So as you're walking through this labyrinth and it seems like you're going nowhere, you're actually going somewhere. You're getting to the center, but then you got to work your way back out along that little maze. But it's really like one step at a time, one step at a time.
Oh my God.
It's pretty magical. Yeah.
I'm totally gonna have to look into that because that sounds like much more up my alley, or something I'm able to do, because like the sitting piece is it's just very hard for me.
Sure, absolutely. That's why there are so many styles of yoga. Some people need the power yoga. Some people like the yin yoga that's very still. Everyone's got a different thing. Whatever your way in is, do it. As long as it gets you to that brighter self and you're a kinder person, do it.